Today we are going to talk about Ansible troubleshooting, specifically about destination does not exist message, return code 257. This fatal error happens when you are trying to edit a file that doesn't exist on the target file system. Sometimes the root cause could be a misspelled file, a typo, or a file not existing at all. These circumstances are usually related to Ansible playbook or Ansible configuration. I'm Luca Berton and welcome in today's episode of Ansible Pilot. The best way of talking about Ansible troubleshooting is to jump in a live demo to show you practically the destination does not exist error, return code 257, and how to solve it. In this demo, I'm going to try to edit a configuration file for SSH, so sshd_config, enabling password authentication for our system. And I'm going to artificially insert a misspelled typo. So finger crossed and let's connect to our machine. See you inside. Welcome to my editor. I'm going to show you one simple playbook to enable password authentication on a target system. So let's begin our Ansible playbook with 3-, yes, it's still a YAML document, and a play. So let's give a name, so password authentication enabled. This is a best practice only for internal systems, so please don't do on production. This playbook is going to execute on host all of my inventory. I need to become set to true because I need the root privilege to edit the configuration file or SSH. Let me disable system information gathering, so gather_fact false. And let's start with our task, SSH password authentication using ansible.builtin.lineinfile Ansible module. So destination file is the SSH configuration file, specifically /etc/ssh/sshd, yes, the daemon _config, and let me artificially put 2 at the end, just a simple typo. Let's match the regular expression caret password authentication, so everything that starts with password authentication, and we would like to substitute everything with a line password authentication space yes. State must be present, so we are going to perform this change in the configuration file. Once we completed this edit of this file, we would like to trigger one handler to execute, specifically ssh restart. Okay, so now let's define our handlers. Specifically, the name is ssh space restart. So this is a key internal keyword. Every time we saw this, Ansible is going to execute ansible.builtin.service, and the name of the service is sshd, yes, the ssh daemon, and the state must be restored. So every time we edit the configuration file, we must restart the SSH daemon. And that's it. In a few lines of code, I'm able to enable one single specific configuration of SSH password authentication and restart the daemon. Please double check that I artificially set a typo in my Ansible playbook with the wrong configuration file. So let's move to the terminal to see the output of this command. Welcome to the terminal of my automation controller. So first of all, let me execute my code with ansible-playbook. Let me specify the inventory file with -e, virtual machine demo inventory, and the name of my Ansible playbook. In my case, under Edit single line text and Enable password authentication. Okay, the execution will be super fast and we are going to see a fatal error, specifically the destination does not exist. Return code 257. Reading carefully the destination file, we notice that there is a typo because the destination file /etc/ssh/sshd_config2 is not present in the system. So we should deep dive in the system, check it out if the file exists and why, the reason why. But in this case, it's perfectly clear that is a typo in our Ansible playbook. Sometimes finding root cause is more difficult than this, so now let's see how we can correct. We need to move back to our editor. Welcome back on my editor. Now let me take a closer look on the destination file, specifically parameter dest of lineinfile Ansible module. This is clear that this number 2 is something that is not correct, so let me remove it and now save this fixed Ansible playbook. Now the Ansible playbook should work, and the only way to find out is to move back to the terminal. Back on the terminal, now I'm ready to execute my Ansible playbook code. So let's type again Ansible-playbook command -i for the inventory file and the name of my Ansible playbook. This time the execution, we are not getting a fatal error and we got a changed status, which means some modifications were performed on the target machine. The execution is super smooth and also the handler to restart the SSH service was successful. Now let's double check manually on the target system. So let me connect via SSH. DevOps is my username at demoexample.com. Let me switch to root with sudo su and let me find out the specific pattern, in my case PasswordAuthentication space yes in the SSH configuration file etc ssh sshd_config, and yes, we have a correspondence, which means this system was successfully patched. Let's double check together the status of SSHD and was freshly refreshed. Yes, fantastic. So 56 seconds ago. Yay, great work Ansible. We fixed our error and everything is up and running. Now you know how to troubleshoot the Ansible fatal error destination does not exist message, return code 257. Sometimes the error is easy, just a typo, sometimes it's a misspelled configuration file, and sometimes it's something more complicated and the file doesn't really exist. Now you know all the root cause and how to troubleshoot one by one. Thank you for watching. I hope this lesson was useful for you. See us on the next adventure of Ansible Pilot and have a great day. Yay! This video is part of our Ansible automation program. Sign up today on www.ansiblepilot.com for uninterrupted exclusive video and so much fun.